Welcome to the session. In our today's session, we are going to learn SCD types, type 2 version method. So we have seen different SCD types. We know already what is SCD. Yeah, so SCD is nothing but slowly changing dimensions. So in our real-time project, we do have dimension table. So in order to maintain the history in the target data warehousing, then we will use this SCD type 2. So in type 2, we do have different methods. So type 2 will be used for history maintenance. So that too row level history will be maintained. So this one I have already explained in the SCD types, just to go through that previous sessions on SCD. So you will get all the details very clearly. So in our today's session, we are going to learn SCD type 2 version method. So what is version method? So if you take, this is the source table. So left hand side, we have the source table. So we have the customer table. So customer ID. So we have some customer data. And here we have the target. For an example here, I'm going to delete all the records. So assume that target we have empty. So for this customer ID, I'm going to compare with source customer ID. If I'm getting null value on the target customer ID, then I will assume that this is the new record. I'm going to insert all the record. So very first time, I'm going to insert all the records. So version, I'm going to make it like a 1. So first time it is going to insert. So very first time I will make version equal to 1. So in order to identify each record uniquely, you can use customer ID, no issues. But I will generate some surrogate key here, like a unique code by using sequence generator. Yes, if you want, you can create it by using sequence generator. So this way. So whenever I'm going to have, so you may have some duplicate record here. So that is why we are going to have one more key column values to identify the each record uniquely. So whenever there is a change in this particular record, for an example here, this particular customer is changing the mobile number. If there is a change in the mobile number, we will check whether this particular record already present or not. Yes, it is present. If it is already present, we will check what is the previous version. So version is 1. Then I will go and insert one more time. Even if there is an update in the source table, I will insert the record here with version equal to version plus 1. So what is the previous version? So 1. So here 1 plus 1, 2. So that's what I will insert. So while inserting, I'm going to increment the sequence number with 6. So if it is new record, I'm going to insert with version equal to 1. If it is existing record, I will look up this particular version, and then whatever the version we have, so just this version plus 1, I will increment. If the same record is getting changed one more time, and I have already looked up this particular record, so this version plus 1, I will increment. So that is what version equal to version plus 1. So here there is no need of update strategy. So for new record also we will insert. For update also, we will insert the record with the existing version plus 1. So always we have to look up the active record, right? So for an example, this customer, we have 2 records. So which one is active record? Which one is current record, right? So if you ask which one is active record, so this is the active record. So this record we have to look up. So why? Because next time you have to go for version 3. So that is why we have to look up this record. For customer ID, for this particular customer ID, so we have to check what is the maximum version. So we have to use this particular code, this particular SQL query we have to write in the lookup override to take the active records, okay, current records. So that is what version we will take. By using that version, we will make version plus 1. So that's what we are using the subqueries here. For customer ID, for particular customer ID, what is the max of version? By grouping the customer ID. So we are going to group by customer ID. Then that should be passed to the outer query. We have to take all the column names from the table name. So we have to go for this one. So I will create this particular table in the target. So you can create this table. You can create this table inside the data. So I will create this particular table in the target. So this is the create table statement. So I'm going to execute the database. Open the SQL developer. So I will open this HR. HR is for source and core is for target. I will connect Informatica with the repository. So I will take this as the target table creation statement. HR table. I will use this table as source. Select star from S underscore customer underscore SCD as source. So here we have some 6 records. So this record, I'm going to make it like a source. And this table I'm going to create the target table, create table name. So you can use this particular statement to create it. So version number or version. So whatever it may be, you can use it. And make sure that this is the primary key. So I'm just going to, I'm going to create this particular table. The table has been created. If you look at this table, select star from this table, right? So you can see this table has been created. And I'm going to pull this table just to open the folder and go to source, clear target. Also, you can clear existing table. Source, we have already pulled the table. If you want, you can, if you do not have this table, you can pull it one more time. So this is the target source table. So this is the source table we have already pulled, imported. And I'll go to the target, go to target, connect with target database, connect with core schema, and you can import the target table, T underscore customer underscore version, T underscore customer SCD version. So this table you can take it. And this is the target table. So create a mapping. You can go to mapping here, create M underscore SCD type 2 version. So that's what I'm creating. And I can import the source table. And I can import the target table. So take the target table. Same way we have to compare with the lookup. So you can use the lookup table to compare the target. Use the lookup here. Target table, this is the version. So you have to look up against this customer ID. You can take the customer ID from here and you can compare this customer ID. Double click. You can go to the condition on the lookup. Click on add conditions, customer ID with customer ID. So just to compare this customer ID and this customer ID, if you are getting null value on the lookup, then mark this field, this particular record as new record. If the record is already present, if any one of the column value is changed, mark this as update. So we are going to create expression transformation to have these two fields. I'm going to create an expression transformation here. So just to take all the columns from here. And so these columns from the source table and these columns from the target. So you need to take the version. So definitely you need to take the version. So you can take the version from here. Yes, these columns are from lookup. So why we are taking the lookup columns, right? So by using lookup columns only, we are going to find whether these records we are going to use for, we are going to insert it or update it. So this is lookup columns. These columns are lookup columns. So if you want, you can rename it. So LKP underscore, if you want, you can rename it. So to represent, just for your reference, I'm just renaming it but it has been already named with 1, right? So these columns are from lookup columns, lookup version. So this column only we have to increment for update. So I'm just creating 2 field. Same way, this field is for new record. To identify new record, I'm going to create a flag, new record flag. And to identify update, so I'm creating update record flag. So these 2 flags are string. Can keep it like a output port. Go to in, make it like these 2 are output, and go to this expression, open this expression. So you can use this logic. So what is the logic? if is null of lookup customer ID. So if is null of lookup customer ID, then you can mark this as true, otherwise false. Same way. So just use it, validate, it should be validated. If it is null, very first time, if it is null, we are marking new record flag as true. If both are equal, any one of the column is not equal, we are making that update flag is true. So we are going for here. So you can make if this customer ID equal to this customer ID. If both the customer IDs are equal and any one of the column is not equal. So you can use MD5 functions. Even I have explained how to use in MD5 functions. So just use that MD5 function. Here I'm using R class. Okay, so this condition should be validated and any one of the condition can be validated. That's why I'm using R. Mobile number not equal to mobile number, or address not equal to this address here, or zip code not equal to this zip code, or country not equal to this country. So if this condition matches, then I'm marking this flag as true, else I'm marking like false. So validate, it should be validated. So, and I need one more column. So whenever the new record is coming, I have to mark this flag as 1, right? I have to mark for new record, I have to mark the version equal to 1. So that we need to get from here. That means I will take new version, okay? So new underscore version, this is what I will name it. So this is nothing but as a decimal. You can use it like a decimal output. So always version equal to 1, right? So for new version is 1. So just you can take it like new version equal to 1. Apply here and OK. And I will segregate the data for insert and update logic. For update also insert only, but I will segregate. So just I'm going to segregate here for insert and update logic. So these columns should go for input. So I need one customer key so that I can create like a sequence generator. So if you do not want this customer ID, but uniquely if you want to identify, you can use this customer key. You do not want this customer key, but if I want to uniquely identify the record, you can go for customer key. So this time it is nothing but it's a surrogate key, right? So we are creating by using the sequence generator. Okay. So what else? The columns are needed. Do we need the customer key? No, I do not want customer key here. Just I'm going to insert it. Customer key is anyhow new key only. Every time I'm going to generate. And I need the version and existing version, right? So existing lookup version I need. And I need these 3 columns. These field alone I need. I do not want any other field. So double click and go for groups. Just I'm creating a 2 groups, one for new record groups, one for update record groups. Update record. So new record, I'm going to pass this, whatever the flag is coming like a new. So that I'm going to pass here. So just to simply use new record flag. So whatever the record is coming like a true, it will be passed in this particular group. I can go for update record. So here I can use update record here. So just as simply you can use it. No need to use equal to true and all. So it's already coming from true only. For new record, I'm going to insert the customer ID to country. So this one, and version equal to 1, right? New version I'm going to make. So this is the way. And I can use sequence generator for sequences, right? So I will use sequence. So this is the 1, 2, 3 is a sequence generator I can use here. So I want to make it from one sequences. Touch, double click, go to properties. You can use sequence value is equal to 1. Starting from 1, you have to increment by 1. It can go up to this particular value. Yes. So this insert logic we have completed. So what about update logic? So update also we have to insert it, right? For update also we have to insert it. We have to go for version equal to version plus 1. So for this, you can copy the same target table, Control C, select this particular target table, Control C, Control V, one more time. So only the instances we are copying it. But if you open the table, both the tables are same target table only. So if you double click on the table, if you see the target table, this is version. If you double click on this table, this is also same table only. Same customer key only I have to use. Yes, I have to use the same customer key. But I have to use, so whatever the existing version, I have to use version plus 1, right? I have to use the version equal to version plus 1. So that I have to use. So how can I use? So here you might be getting that version, right? So existing version you might be getting. So you can use here itself. So anyhow, you are getting this particular column, the column from the lookup, right? So you can get from here, you are getting the version here. That's a lookup column. So this version is lookup version. So lookup version plus 1, right? So you can go for one more column here, or even you can use one more expression here. You can use it, no issues. If you want here, yes, you can use it one more expression. You can use it, but here I'm using that version. Double click. I will use update version. Update version. It's a decimal. So it is nothing but so existing version. So what is the column? It is a lookup version, right? So this is a lookup version column. So this plus 1. So this is the way you have to increment the values. So this column is update version, right? Yes. So how can I take this update version column into the router? So if you see this router, we have taken already up to here, right? But how can I bring it to this column? Can I use it this way? No, I cannot use it. So you can go to router, just to create one more column. That's it. So here, if any column, if you want to add it in the router already, this is what you can add it. I can use this one, apply OK, then one column will be added. You can use this particular column here and it will be available now, right? The target in the update records. For update record also, you have to insert it. So you have to insert from customer ID to up to country, then update version, you have to load it, right? So we have done. No, we have one logic left out. So that should be a lookup queries, lookup SQL query. So double click. So you have to look up always. You have to look up always the latest version, right? Maximum version. So that should be looked up. So I have to write this particular code. So if you just to open this SQL override, just to generate SQL, so you'll be getting all this SQL statement here, right? So you're getting all the SQL statement. Select all the column names from the table name. So from the table name, you can use it and you have to modify this where this query will be executed in the target schema, right? So in the target schema only, this will be executed. You can use this target and yes, this is the target table. And so you cannot use select start from the table name, right? So you need to use only the latest version. So I have given already the query here. Select column names from the table name. Where, so where class you have to use. Where the customer ID comma version. Okay. So where customer ID. So that should be taken from here. So always use table name dot column name, customer ID comma version. So this is the version, right? So you take the version from here, table name and column name, where customer ID and this one in. So you have to use in keyword, but you have to use the bracket here. So since two columns, you have to use the bracket. So closed bracket and in. So you have to use the subqueries here. So we have to select always the latest version for particular customer. So select customer ID max of version. You have to select the customer ID. Yes, you can go for the customer ID, comma max of version. So always use table name dot column name. So that is what it will increase the performance. From the table, group by customer ID. From table name, group by customer ID. Okay, so this one should be a subqueries. You have to use in bracket. So just use it in bracket. Okay. Okay, sorry, here I have to use one parenthesis I have to use. So max of customer ID here, right? Just use it. And first you can check it the inner query. So just execute the inner query here. So as of now, you will not get any data. So since I'm getting, so for any customer ID, you'll get maximum customer version. For this customer ID, what is the version? It will be passed, and then it will take the latest version of the record. Yes. So this is the query. You have to use it. Control C and use it in the lookup override. Okay. Paste it. Apply. Okay. Save. The mapping should be valid. So it's a valid now. Just to go to workflow. Create a workflow. WF underscore SCD underscore type 2 version method. So you can use the session. You can select the corresponding mapping. You can link it. Double click on the session. Go to mapping. Source should be pointing to source connection. Target should be pointing to target connection. Should not truncate and load. You can go to the target, same connection here. And you can use the lookup also. Lookup also, you have to use the target connection here. And in real-time project, the connection will be like a parameterized one. And you can go to config object. You can mark the stop on error equal to 1. If any one errors, it will stop the execution. And fail parent if this task fail. Fail the parent if this task fails. So valid. Control yes, it should be valid. So now I'm going to run it. Start the workflow. It will open the monitor. So very first time, if you see this target table, as of now, no data is available. It will go and load all the data into the target table. So very first time, it should load the data. Okay, so we are getting failure, like customer SCD version has index defined upon it. Since it has the primary key, the target has primary key. So this is the error. You might be getting it if you have primary key. You can go to this. You can go to the target table. Target load type as normal. Target load type can make it like normal, apply, okay, save this. Yeah, since we are using the primary key, right? So primary key in Oracle table, it will create a unique index. So that's why you might be getting this particular error. So very first time I'm not selecting that as normal mode. So if you have any indexes, so this is bulk mode concept will not work, right? So I have already explained this. Bulk load will not be executed when target has been indexed, created it. If you are creating a primary key, yes, definitely it will create an index. So now you have to load it with normal mode, start the workflow. So it is running now. It got succeeded. You can see the source and target statistics. 6 record has been loaded now. You can see what is the target table. Check it whether all the record has been inserted with version equal to 1. Yes, very first time it has been inserted. So you may ask question why it has been generated with customer key from 7. So why? Because so one time it has been failed, right? So one time it has been failed. So that is why it has already generated with 6 sequence numbers. While loading into the target table, it has failed. So here sequence will be created, but while hitting the target, it has been failed. So that is why all the 6 sequences has been skipped. Anyhow, it's a sequence number, right? It is a unique number only. No need to worry. Yes, we can use this as a surrogate key. You can see this. One more time, I'm going to run the same mapping. So one more time, I'm going to run the same mapping. What should happen? If I'm going to run one more time the same mapping, then it should not load any data, right? It should not insert data. It should not update data. So you can run from the monitor also, just to run it. So it is reading the data from source, but it is not writing any data to target, right? So you can see this way. Target it is not getting loaded. Okay. So I'm going to update a record in source. So manually I'm going to update, go to HR schema. So if you want, you can use update statement to update the record. So I will go to this s_customer_scd table. I'm just updating this particular data. So with this location, I'm going to update it with the different locations. Okay. So I can go and update, commit it. So this is the commit. So commit successful. And I'm going to run this particular workflow one more time. So it should read 6 records. 1 record should go for an update. See here, 0 record for insert logic, 1 record for update, but update also will get inserted with version equal to version +1. You can see this. So version equal to version +1. So already record is present. So this is the record. Version previously like 1. So now the version is 2. And you are having the differences, right? The address, there is a differences. And you can see this, since we are using this customer ID for duplicate, right? We are using to identify the record uniquely. We are using the customer key as surrogate key here. So this column, we will call it a surrogate key. And so what about this lookup override query? If I'm going to run this particular lookup override query, it should select for this particular record, it should select the second version only. See here. Yes, for this record, it is selecting the second version only. Clear? So that's what you are getting it. One more time, I'm going to update the same record. One more time, I'm going to update the same record. So here I'm going to update one more locations. I'm going to update it with different locations. Click on OK and commit it. So the version should be 3, right? So I'll go and insert. I'll go and start the workflow. You can check now. One record is for update logic. You can go to core schema and you can check it here. Target table. So one more record should be inserted with the version equal to 3. right? Yes, one more record has been inserted with new customer key and so different locations. So this is what you can use this version. So latest version for each customer ID, you have to use latest version. So that is why we are using the subqueries here. Group by customer ID. Why we are using group by customer ID? For each customer ID, we have to take max of version, latest record. So for this particular customer, what is the latest version? Version equal to 1, right? Not 3. But this particular customer, version equal to 3. I hope you are clear. So this is what we will use version method. For both the logic, we will use insert. We will not go for any update here. So try this logic, create one table, create a target table. Just to try this, you can able to understand very clearly.